rAVe, take one, Mark.
Hi everyone, I'm Steph Beckett and this is rAVe TV. Is that not what I'm doing right now?
What does rAVe do?
rAVe. rAVe is a full-service creative agency that provides AV companies with creative services, marketing, and public relations support.
What don't we do?
We do it all.
We have Pubs, which is our publications now, which is our live events, Create, which is our creative services, Consult, which is helping brands amplify their message, Speak, which is the live speaking and keynotes that we do, Storytelling, which is our PR and copywriting services, and then we have Launch, which is our live events.
I work under the Create talent. You have graphic design, you have day-to-day social management. There's so many different aspects.
It is so limitless.
rAVe Create is the worst talent.
If someone said that rAVe Create was the worst talent, they would be lying.
And Speak is the best talent, and I've never lied. Like whatever president that was that chopped the cherry tree and felt really bad and didn't. Is it Abe Lincoln? I'm Abe Lincoln of this office. My talent is rAVe Speak. We will be a personality or a host for different events within the industry.
One talent I fall under at rAVe is rAVe Now. People know me as the person that's gonna come shoot their videos.
My talent at the rAVe agency is storytelling. We help our clients break through the clutter and the noise in our industry.
My favorite part about my job is that every day is not the same. I love the people of rAVe.
You know, we have great people. We have a great team that really cares about what we're doing.
We have a lot of talented people.
I'm able to come in to basically any meeting and be like, hey, okay, I've got a really weird idea. Everybody just keep your comments until the end.
We go beyond just what we've done so far. We're always doing something more.
All right. Welcome, hello, and welcome. Welcome to the rAVe Esports Show with your hosts, me, Bubba Gaeddert. I'm so glad you're here today. We are in, oh gosh, I don't know how many episodes we're in right now. We've done so many with some amazing people in the space and had some fun. We're gonna have another guest next week, Angela Bernard Thomas from Collegiate Sports Management Group. We're gonna have some our friends from Women in Gaming International, Miss Joni Kraut coming in. We've had Kevin and Mark from Extron. We're just having a lot of fun with the rAVe Esports Show. Big shout outs to Carrie Lartz and Gary Kay for making this possible, and for those also supporting the VEF, the Video Games and Esports Foundation. If you're out there, you can actually type !VEF in the chat. And I know there's some awesome people in the chat. Amon Green is in the chat. What's up? How are you doing? He's saying hello. Amon Green, check him out. He does things. Hey Rhett, what's up? It's Tyler in the house. Hello on Instagram. Thanks for being here. But if you want to use !VEF in the chat, I'm gonna try it as well. You can just go and you type !VEF, and we're doing what's called a rAVe Esports Show challenge. So if you go to the link in the actual that's in the chat, you can actually donate and it'll show up on the screen and we'll show your donation. Hello Mr. Grinch, hello on Twitch, how are you? Well, once again, thank you guys for being here. We're gonna have some great shows coming up in the future. We've got some fun things happening. Hopefully I'll see you at some events maybe in the summer. I know a lot of folks from the rAVe agency were in Barcelona doing really big tech stuff. They probably were at CES. If you went to CES a few weeks ago, I got to go to FETC and hang out with Generation Esports people, the NASA people. Gosh, Spectrum Industries, Lenovo was there because there's some Lenovo people there. I think there might be some Lenovo connection today as well. We'll talk about. But I've been pumped because there is just a lot going on in the esports and gaming space, and we get to come here and talk to those in the audio visual space who work in these large spaces that have need for walls full of screens or lighting. And we've interviewed people from Extron and Neutrik and talked about that. Neutrik, we had Mark on. We talked about all the connectors that I've seen their logo on their connectors at church when we're plugging in stuff and I'm recognizing that, and Extron with all their amazing capabilities in audio and visual. And what's fun is trying to get these folks who are in this audio visual space to see the benefits and value of K-12 esports, higher education esports, and how that scholastic esports model can work in the classrooms and in schools and in multi-purpose rooms. And we've had some great guests talk about that. Mike and Christy Custer. We've had Chris Turner on. We played some Fortnite and talked about all this fun stuff in the space. And also Gary Kay on the show. But today, we're gonna meet with a leading executive in the tech space. And this person, actually, what's really interesting, I know I knew this stuff, but I've kind of forgotten about it. But Special Olympics, just this wide array of history that we're going to talk about today, that our guest has done and also is doing, and the partnerships they're working on. I saw the labs that help build or sponsor in different ways with equipment. But it's going to be fun because we're going to talk to the very amazing Mr. Jeff Palumbo. How are you, sir? Welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you? Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Man, it's good to see you. We need to play some games together, I think.
I'm ready. I mean, well, when one of us actually has the ability to take time out of our calendars to find time to game, then I'm all about it. Yeah, but we definitely should.
Yeah, I never play video games during the day at all, ever.
I wish I could.
You are very busy.
I would love to say that I could, and it's usually a after like 9 o'clock type thing, or after 10 o'clock, or once in a while on a weekend.
Right.
I get a chance if I'm not, doing chores around the house or whatever. I try to drop in for an hour. But my days of like my EQ, my EverQuest / MMORPG days are long over. Not if I want to stay married and stay happy anyway. That's just not going to happen.
That grind is definitely difficult to jump back in.
6-hour raids. Just can't do it anymore.
Yep.
No.
We were talking about this the other day. I was on with Ray Pastor yesterday, and we're talking about WoW and EverQuest, and it took
Dr. Ray.
It took us forever to figure out what the name of the old Discord, Ventrilo. I had to look it up, and I was like, we used to use Ventrilo to basically yell at each other. And I feel like I can find some YouTube videos, not just the Leroy Jenkins thing, but like videos of people on Ventrilo in raids or whatever, and just one guy telling everybody to be quiet, and he definitely sounds like a big nerd, and we're all just in there waiting for the command. Okay, you got to use this. We're going in left. Make sure you stay distance. Get the healers. But like that's the fun thing about games, right? Is look how much leadership and communication skills went into Ventrilo and Discord, and now in gaming. I was playing Fortnite with my friends from church yesterday, and we're just giving each other props on communication. Like how much is that going to help us? Hopefully with our families and our relationships. I don't know. What are your thoughts on how gaming supports everyday life?
Well, I think you're 100% correct. I think there's multiple levels to it, and obviously I'm looking at it from a couple different angles. Not only am I a gamer and have been forever, being a professional in the games industry, I've seen a lot of stuff change. Being a father of a 11-year-old who is also a gamer, and he's into competitive gaming already. And then just seeing it from a school perspective because of what I do in general for my day-to-day job, my career. So I think the piece that floats over each one of those, that connects them all, that's the same, is the fact that proper communication is always a benefit. And learning how to communicate with other people, whether it is in general leadership roles or support roles, or just that general piece of trying to figure out how things work, that's one thing. But also the communication of how to generate and make sure ideas are working. Like how do you communicate an idea properly that you can't draw? Yeah. How do you influence people in a positive manner? And there's also people that can use that for bad. as well. But in general, the hope is to kind of talk about that, but also just talking to people face to face and in their eyes. We see that a lot of gamers, especially in school, they're like, I've got tons of friends. You do have tons of digital friends that you've never met before.
Yeah.
There is a difference between talking to them online and communication and then speaking to them in person and being able to look people in the eye and things of that nature. So I see a lot of overlap, in gaming kind of breaks that down a little bit. It forces, in certain games, especially, you know, MMORPGs or something where it's a team-based game, playing Call of Duty with 4 people, or Apex and you know, calling shout outs in Rainbow Six Siege. Everybody has a job. You kind of get into the placement of knowing that you have a job, whether it's a support role, you're a tank, you're DPS, whatever it might be. You have to have that communication, and you also have to have trust. You know, that's where the leadership comes in. There's a lot of team captains right now who should probably not be team captains, but it's because they've never been coached to be a proper team captain. But you still see that the communication is there. You see a lot of the pro teams are highly communicative. That's what they're doing the whole time. Yeah, they know what it almost becomes like the game is secondary. You know that when you're in mid on League of Legends, you know what to do, and it's almost autopilot. But you're calling out ganks, you're calling out what's next, you know who's coming through. Like it's that level of communication that makes these teams successful. Everything else, they've played so much that clicking and doing certain tasks are just part of the game, but it's the communication piece that if that fails, you're toast. So I think that's really where it comes across. Then when you get into business, or just discussions like we have, you have to be able to bring your wording together and be able to properly communicate your thought process in order for other people to also understand it and be able to accept what they're saying as well. You know, that's a lot of debate. A lot of people on the internet don't debate right now. They just call each other names and hide behind their anonymity. So that's kind of what I see. But debate is also a great thing. You have to be able, in life, you're going to debate all the time. Well, it's not normally vicious, but to be able to debate on a team or part of gaming back and forth, that's getting you prepped for what it's really like.
Love that, man. Well, I want to jump into some news about the world, and I'm going to pull up this thing yesterday that got announced from Fortnite and Epic Games. I want to get your take on this. This blew me away because it's everything we've been talking about. And then Todd Harris in a post yesterday just hit it right at nail on the head of this. We've outplayed the word metaverse over the past 3 years, even though it's been around for a very long time, the term. And virtual world, but this is what we've all been talking about because Fortnite started Lego Fortnite and Rocket Racing and the Guitar Hero. That's not the right term for it. The kind of rock band version they have, I forget what it's called, but this move and what's cool about this is we all found out about this $1.5 billion investment for 10% of Epic Games yesterday. But they've obviously been working on it for a while, and it surely had to do over the last year of the UEFN being able to create create whatever you want with the new Creative 2.0 version.
Yep.
So when you saw this news yesterday, I see Disney, I see Marvel, I see Avatar in the back, Star Wars. There's other things. What did you think when this first came out yesterday?
Well, two things. First, my jaw dropped. Second, I guess 3 things. The second one is I can't believe Steve Isaacs actually kept this from me. So I'm gonna have to, when I meet with Steve in a couple weeks, and be like, dude, really? He's gonna be like, you're under NDA, but you're not under that kind of NDA. And third, I think what it shows is 2 things. It shows that bigger companies kind of see the value in almost, I don't want to say getting there first. There's other companies there, but they're really, I think this is going to catapult what this metaverse creative space really looks like.
Yeah.
It's going to get younger, whether they be students or younger adults, to kind of jump into something that will now become almost commonplace. You know, almost like coding for AR or coding for VR. Kids are going to get to learn early, like even the ages of 7, 8, 9, that when they're starting to code in Roblox and in Minecraft, this is going to be one of those new go-tos. And I think it's super exciting. Now, from the brand aspect, Disney coming in, obviously that's big for them, right? They're trying to, I would assume, again, I don't work for Disney, so I don't really know, but from being a brand professional for years, I would assume they're trying to not corner the market, but they're really trying to put it out there so that content is designed there first. They have massive brands, again, like you said, Marvel is one of the bigger ones, obviously Star Wars, even though they're bringing out another movie with Rey in it. We won't get into that.
That was
That's
cool. Yeah, she mentioned it on a talk show. That made me super excited.
Yeah, being a Star Wars fanboy from long ago, I don't. That's a whole nother discussion. That's a whole nother rave.
Yeah.
But I think what it's really doing, in my opinion, is it gives people with imagination that are already tied to these brands the ability to create something they couldn't before.
Yeah.
And I think that's really where it's going to excel. So think of fan fiction. Fan fiction is massive, whether it's Star Wars with the what ifs, or just in general, or the Harry Potter. Harry Potter. Granted, that's not Disney. That's Universal. But those worlds have consistently had fan fiction outside of the core. What this, I think, is going to do is it's going to be able to start to meld or merge what could potentially be fan fiction, and then people can play that fan fiction in this world, and it can even be tested. What if a creator like Marvel or Star Wars is picking up on a storyline that somebody has built or a world that somebody has built, and they're like, this is awesome. Tons of people are using this and into it. We're going to pick this person up because we think it could be eventually turn it into canon. Like, how awesome is that?
Yeah.
So I think there's tons of upside. Downside, you have a major corporation now kind of putting a very definitive spin on what is going to be the near future.
Yes. Yeah.
So as long as Disney's version is, we want people to create, that's the gist, and yes, use our brands to do it, cool. I haven't seen anything otherwise where they're trying to lock anybody else out or anything like that. So I see it overall as a really great thing.
Yeah, Jeff, I think what has really made me excited about this is the interoperability that we talk about, of why you can't use a Peely banana Fortnite skin in Call of Duty is because they're built differently and they're on different servers and everything else. But when we had Lego Fortnite come out and I'm using my Peely skin as a Lego character, or to be honest, Darth Vader, actually, I don't know, I think I had used Darth Vader, when I could use those in Lego in a different thing, that is beyond just Marvel coming in or Disney coming in to have an event or a skin in Fortnite. That's a total different, it's the characters change, because a Peely inside a Call of Duty truck, like Matthew Ball says in his book, the banana peel will stick out of the car, which it does in Fortnite anyways, but like that's what's super exciting for me. This expands it. This gives all of this truth to what we've been trying to say, that this in the middle, this like Ready Player One entrance, when you come into the zone and you can go wherever you want in these worlds. This is exactly what Ready Player One looks like. And that's what I love about it, because now we can take like Wreck-It Ralph is there on the bottom. Let's say Wreck-It Ralph.
That's what I was gonna say. It was Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, we could go over the Star Wars world and drive a TIE fighter or something, or fly a TIE fighter. Like
Yeah.
that's just ridiculous. And the unlimited possibilities here really we've been thinking about this forever. I mean, I go back to Star Trek and pads and how much the little captain's log, tricorder, there we go.
Yeah, there you go.
How we how we use those now, or we did, as flip phones. This has been realized, I think, and it's getting a lot closer, and I'm super pumped to just do whatever they're about to let us do, because I'm ready. So if this takes another year or two, I'm gonna be so anxious, but hopefully it can be a little quicker.
Yeah, and I do love the overlapping of graphical interface in different worlds. I think that's really one of the biggest things, and that's kind of what I talked about with content creation, and having characters that can be created, and then jumped into different worlds, and people being like, "Who are you?" "Oh, this is my character. I am so and so." And but I think it's going to be awesome. Another movie that pops up that is very much kind of tried to meld that was the one with Ryan Reynolds, where he was in
Free
in
Guy
a video game. Yeah, Free Guy. It's very much, that's what I feel like they kind of creating here.
Yeah, 100%.
Between that Wreck-It Ralph world, the Ready Player One, and Free Guy, where they can jump in and do all sorts of really cool stuff like that. And I think another thing that Disney has going for it in general is, I can't wait to see what the graphical interface looks like and how beautiful it could be. Because Lego is not what I would consider beautiful. Right? Like, I mean, it's cool, don't get me wrong, but it's cartoony. There's a certain way for that to be. But if you look at Star Wars and like TIE Fighter, those games, especially the simulation versions, are beautiful. Avatar as a movie is an encompassing environmental story. I mean, honestly, I think people watch Avatar partially for the storyline, but a lot of it is just to be wowed by the environment. So I look forward to seeing what that does. Is what type of really high-end environments can go into what would be considered a cartoony environment, and does it keep that register of like that definitive graphic interface, or does it have to tone it down? Can you have something that looks ultra sharp like Darth Vader walking through Toontown in Fortnite, but it has the resolution of what Vader would look like in a movie? That's the kind of cool stuff of what I'm really looking forward to. Unreal Engine 5 has already basically come out and said, like, we can do that. It's just people haven't been using it to that extent. I think this is going to bring people into that world as well. Is that Unreal Engine has really now taken a step forward. I wouldn't say against Unity or anything like that, but they're kind of creating this infrastructure of go design. And I think that's going to be amazing.
100%. Well, and that, I think they made so much money last year, Epic did, through the UEFN and Unreal 5, with just the creator content payouts. I mean, millions of dollars were paid out last year for people to play maps, and it made them so much more money, because then people are buying things in there. And so and if you're in the chat and you heard about this news with Disney and Epic Games, I mean, what's something you love about it? What are you most excited about? Sharp over on Kick, hello, thanks for being here, man, and thanks for being here, Gunthrax as well. Thank you, guys. What I hope this will be, what I'm thinking though now, is how funny the Apple Vision Pro and whatnot, and now how do we use Apple Vision Pro to partake in this? Because people are using Apple Vision Pro to play games, but they're just really just expanding a screen in front of their face right now. I mean, there's games you can play from Apple in there, but you can expand your monitor or your TV to play. But I did see a video today of a guy got pulled over because he was auto driving his Tesla with his Apple Vision Pro on. and so they show him basically, pinching and whatever, and you can't see his eyes, but he's doing this, and the car's just driving because somebody recorded it. Then they recorded there's a cop. I don't know what happened. I think he got a ticket for sure.
I would assume.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not driving under the influence, but it's definitely like if you're not supposed to drive and be on your phone.
Right, exactly.
I think having an augmented reality overlay that's something beyond just knowing where to drive, like a Google Maps or something, is kind of distracting.
I
think it's cool. Don't get me wrong.
True. I just wonder what. I feel like we've had this conversation. It reminds me of, the movie with Tom Cruise, Minority Report, and then Demolition Man, where the car is auto driving and whatnot. Yep. But it also has stuff on the screen, on the window, like I'm going here, moving here, whatever. So like if we get to that point, I think there's already stuff being displayed onto like windshields in some cars, or it's either aftermarket or whatever. Yeah,
like a heads-up display type thing.
Yeah, exactly. So it's funny that he got pulled over, but I mean, it's unprecedented as well to wear goggles and a face augmented reality with a Tesla driving yourself. So can you use your phone normally? I guess it depends on the state. Driving a Tesla. That's because I know people get tickets in some states or cities for having their phone out and driving normally, but can you get one? I mean, people watch movies in their Tesla driving. I mean, I would.
Yeah, I mean, if Tesla's on auto drive, I assume that you can do whatever you want, but I don't know if they know that that's actually happening. Like as a police officer, and you see somebody on their phone, like in the driver's seat, I think that isn't, even if it is a Tesla, I'm pretty sure the police officer isn't like, I'm sure they're fine.
Yeah, right.
They're gonna be like, woo, like, no, that's not okay. That if you've ever watched the show Upload on Amazon, they have the self-driving cars, and the guy's actually driving with his, it looks like a PlayStation controller, which is pretty awesome. And then you also have all right, hey,
you get your TV.
Yes, my drop off. It just broke 2 days ago, but good for Best Buy to get it to me in 48 hours.
Cool.
Hold up, I'll be right back.
No, I'm going to show a commercial. We'll be back. We're going to show.
Please do. Thank you.
Yep.
rAVe, take one, Mark.
Hi everyone, I'm Steph Beck.
All right, so we're here interviewing Jeff Palumbo. A big shout out as well again to Neutrik and Extron. Extron, you can check them out, extron.com/esports. Extron does amazing stuff in the audio visual space. If you need help designing or creating, definitely check them out. And we're gonna jump back in with Jeff Palumbo. You got it all. Yeah, nice. So
Best Buy, talk about technology.
Like a warranty?
No,
dang. We did that with our dishwasher the other day. It was making noise, and I went and hired some local guy, and then I call LG, and they're like, "Oh, you didn't call us first? Sorry. You should have called. You should have You should have called, because it's like a 10-year warranty on this drive, and we got it last year. Like, oh, you
Yeah.
should have called us first, and we would have called someone for you, but now we can't pay that bill for you. Sorry. Like, yeah, thanks, warranties. Great.
Yeah. This TV, we had one that was in our bonus room that's probably 12 years old.
Sure.
You know, something like that, 11, 12 years old. And it finally just started changing channels and going up in volume by itself. And I tried everything, and I was just like, okay, well, that's dead. So TVs are so amazing right now and so inexpensive compared to what I used to pay. And we got like a brand new one with like 144 hertz for my son for gaming, a 65 inches. The thing was like $700. And I'm like, what?
Well, talking about tech here, I want to jump into Lenovo here in a minute, but I was seeing some of the clients that you work with, USO, Special Olympics North America, Black Collegiate Gaming Association, American Cancer Society, VideoGames and Esports Foundation, are different partners and clients. Those are things you're doing inside Lenovo Esports, or those are what's the connection with those?
Most of them. So a couple of them are, but the with the USO and the Special Olympics of North America, I also sit on the advisory boards. Well, USO I was helping out. I'm just a big fan of the USO and our military. So if there's anybody that is a veteran or current military, thank you for your service, 100%. So I try to help out the USO when needed. I was on a project with them regarding esports. Nice. But for the Special Olympics of North America, I'm on their advisory board for esports. That's just me donating time. Same thing with Ray, Dr. Ray, that you had on yesterday. I'm on the UNC Wilmington board of advisors as well for esports.
Well, that's you guys
them in a different format.
You guys sponsored them last year with their esports arena.
Lenovo Esports Lenovo had a partial sponsorship for them to kind of help them kind of upgrade a little bit. But that is my career at Lenovo is just kind of what I do. But the boards that I'm on are just Jeff. It just happens that I work for Lenovo. Awesome, so I'm sure it doesn't hurt, but I like trying to give back, and especially in the esports space, I'm passionate about esports, not because of the competitive nature of it, although I think that's cool. Obviously my son is competitive, so I want it to succeed, but it's more about the fact that gaming to me, or at least esports to me, let's not even call it gaming, esports, especially in education, I feel gives schools and students the ability to create an environment that is overwhelmingly diverse and accepting. And I don't feel that anywhere else. You know, back when I was growing up, and maybe you too, even though I'm a little bit older than you are.
I'm 41.
I'm 45, but you don't look like you're 41. I look like I'm at least 45.
No, wait till I take my hat off, bro.
I think we had the typical look at an 80s movie, like Weird Science or something, or Breakfast Club. You've got your nerds, your jocks, your dweebs, your stoners, your right down the list. And you still have, I think you still probably have that in school. Sure. But gaming has, where it used to be a nerdy thing, now kids are gaming, when they're 2-3 years old, because they have their iPad or their their Lenovo tablet. Just throw it out there. And they are using it and interacting from a digital perspective so young that gaming to them is now commonplace. It's part of everyday life, and that's for a lot of kids. It's not just for nerds that don't fit in. Now there are those people that feel they're introverted. They might not fit in. They might not think they fit in. They have certain disabilities. Esports is great because it doesn't matter how you identify, doesn't matter who you love, who you pray to, what color your skin is. I play this game. Oh, so do I. Done. That's friendship, and everybody's kind of accepting of that. Doesn't mean you don't have your trolls and your jackasses that take it to another level, but that's everywhere.
Right.
But I think that environment of acceptance and potential ability to accept people for who they are and not hold them accountable for who they're not, as well as the fact that if a school can onboard any type of technology, regardless of how much money your parents make or where you come from in terms of geo status, a child has the ability to find something they enjoy, meet friends that they can increase their health and wellness with, and potentially find a career that is, even if it's not in esports, it might be overlapping in esports, broadcasting, production, whatever. And every student should be allowed to experience that. And I think that esports does that. So the more organizations I can help to help students and young adults and kids not only understand that people are people and that's what makes them special, but gives them the opportunity to find something they might actually really enjoy, or just the health and wellness piece if they're hurting inside because their family life isn't good, or they have, again, a mental disability that could be jarring, or they're missing a limb or something.
Right.
All of these things, while it's not magic, they can find a way to be happy or happier or accepted, and that's the basic need of Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Right. Yep.
And what's wrong with a child feeling loved?
Exactly. Well, so speaking of children and tech, I would love to see the day when a Lenovo Legion Go's replace all the tablets and the pads and everything that my kids bring home that struggle sometimes. We actually have a really good, my son plays Fortnite on a Lenovo laptop we bought in 2020, and it runs great. And we're about, so when we move overseas here soon, we're going to be buying the Lenovo new adapter cord for the UK, and because my wife didn't think, we can't take it over there because the power, like, no, we'll just get a different power cord.
Just a converter. Yeah,
exactly. But I would love to see the day when the kids bring these home, because this is a full computer. I know this is not like you're not promoting this, but it's all over my Facebook, or sorry, my TikTok feed constantly. And there's Lenovo influencers that I follow. There's like 3 or 4 good ones. They went to CES. I can't remember his name, Dino, on TikTok and Instagram. And he gets the stuff and he shows it up, and it's pretty fast and pretty amazing. But it would be cool to see that be a replacement for what the kids bring home. And obviously, and if you don't know out there, you could take one of the controllers off and put it into a stand, and it's like a mouse.
It's a mouse.
It's pretty amazing.
So Ben Myers was the lead factor in that from Lenovo. Super great guy. And as a gamer, just like us, like he knows his stuff. He's been at Lenovo for forever.
Yeah.
And when he was, again, I was kind of talking a little bit, knowing that this was sort of coming out, but even he kind of kept a lot of it under the hood.
Yeah.
And only the product team really knew. So when this came out, I was just like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
And it really does take place of everything.
Yes.
It's insane, because it's Steam, no problem. Want to watch Netflix, no problem. It solves all of the issues of what a phone can't do.
Right.
But it's not much bigger than a phone, like a bigger Samsung level phone.
Yeah.
But you can do so much more with it. I think the people that think that it's just a little, like a gaming handheld gaming device they have not seen.
It's revolutionary. It's honestly the biggest step I think we have in a handheld for a long time, because it's not a gaming. It's not a gaming handheld. It's a computer.
It's a handheld.
It's a computer. And we joke about, I got a computer in my pocket with my phone, but no, it is. I mean, the specs here, the specs. AMD Ryzen, Windows 11. You're running. So guys, you're running Windows 11. You're not running
Snapdragon or something like that.
Something like that. 16 gigabytes of memory. This is incredible. And then this is an integrated chip. So this is this is one of the newer AMD integrated chip, because they just started doing this a couple of years ago. Because they're obviously everybody's competing with, Intel and AMD are competing on that. But yeah, it's pretty freaking amazing. Wow. Yeah, I've been fully impressed. I think we chatted about it before in passing, but that is funny that even you in the space couldn't get the information ahead of time with this.
Yeah. I mean, Ben kept it definitely secret. And
Tyler.
it really is crazy just how much they put into it. It's almost like when you see one of those like action movies and there's like 15 million like guns and rockets and everything, and then they pull up like this small car and the guy, the lead, I can't remember what movie this happened, but they're like, I want everything from here in here.
Yeah. Oh, and that's a Triple X with Vin Diesel.
Triple X, yes, thank you. I knew it was something, and I'm like, that's what Ben did. Ben's like, well, let's not make it just a handheld. We don't want it to compete just in the handheld market. We want it to become the new handheld market. Yeah. Like and this is not me being a Lenovo employee.
Yeah.
This is me being a nerd, and a gamer,
yes,
and a tech enthusiast. They just raised the bar. Like, not that they just raised it like one or two notches. They said, we're raising the bar into a whole nother stratosphere.
Yeah. And it's not $3,500, by the way. It's $700.
Yeah. It's just insane.
Yeah.
And of course now my son wants one. And I'm like, well,
we just got you a new TV.
Right. Because the other one broke. I'm like, you do understand that everything now in technology costs at least $700. So it's just, I'm like, we're going to have to wait on that one, buddy. But the Lenovo crew did such a wonderful job, not only designing it, but listening to feedback. Yeah. We want this. We want this. We want this. And again, I don't know the whole process, but I do know Ben pretty well.
Right.
And I assume he was just like, okay. And the screen is great. The refresh rate is amazing.
Yes.
Everything that you would want in a gaming computer in your hands.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And then you can use it as a computer.
Companies are gonna have to catch up. There's so many other companies that are trying to catch up with that now. So, and Tyler says, Lenovo showed me the Legion Go last time. I guess he's in Phoenix, and he says it's a perfect device for K-12, and that's what I'm wondering. Like, it really could replace a lot of stuff. What's funny is I thought the Apple Pro, like, oh my gosh, monitor sales are gonna go way down if this gets up, but something like this, you can plug it into your monitor too. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, keyboard, all that stuff, and all of a sudden it's powering everything that you need. It's so well done. The thing that I tell people is Lenovo was the first ones to bring out the Yoga.
The Yoga.
And that was that folds, that you could actually use it as a computer, but you fold it over and you could then, it's a touch screen as well.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
Lenovo was the first one to bring something like that out.
Yeah.
And that was revolutionary at that point in time. And then, of course, everybody else started jumping on board and trying to do stuff. And they were, even before that, they were revolutionary with that little red trackpad, the little red dot on the ThinkPads.
Yes,
so
I remember that.
This is the latest and greatest,
of course,
innovation that has really come out of that, especially the consumer team.
Yeah.
And I can say nothing bad about it.
Yeah.
Like, just as a gamer in general.
Yeah.
Like, I could usually rip these things to shreds, and I just can't.
Right.
And it's very odd to have something like that.
That's amazing. Yeah. Well, sidetrack on that one, because I wanted to get your take on it, and your take as a nerd is perfect on this. And Tyler, yes, I totally agree. This Lenovo Go is so unique and amazing fit for corporate too. Okay. Yeah. Well, let's wrap up here with what you do with K-12 and higher education, I want people to know, because all these audiovisual folks in the space that are watching on rAVe Pubs right now, watching on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, all these places, I want people to be able to call you, because I know you're an amazing resource when you just want to help people. And I will let you say your spiel on you like just helping people other than trying to sell them stuff. But like, I want to go through your website here that you gave us and how you use this to help maybe educate someone in the audio visual space who's like, what is this esports I keep hearing about? And I've got schools asking me for it. What do I need to know? What do I need to do for them?
Well, I think the biggest thing is you can get in contact with us at the bottom of the page. I think it says contact us, or at least it should, unless something kind of broke. But there's a bunch of resources on this page which kind of go through. There's use cases on there. There's reasons why. Contact our experts. There you go.
Yeah,
that will be directed towards Lee Hyde. Lee Hyde is the
right.
North America esports consultant for Lenovo. He's awesome. He built UNC Chapel Hill's entire program basically from scratch. And now he's with us at Lenovo, which is great. I think people really need to know that Lenovo is extremely supportive in our methodology, which is don't just sell PCs. Like, eventually to them in esports, even though they're the number one PC manufacturer in the world, PCs and esports are just a tool.
Yeah.
And we have some of the best tools around. That's not me saying that as Lenovo employee. People say about it all the time online and everything. Where Lenovo has really come through and supported me and what I'm trying to accomplish and what my team with me is trying to accomplish is they're like, do it right.
Yeah.
So we actually, myself and Lee Hyde, are free. We don't cost anything to talk to schools. And a lot of people, when they walk in a room, and our competitors will say, or some of our competitors, when they walk into a room and a school's like, we want to do esports, they're like, well, here's our esports product line. This is what you need.
Okay.
And what we say is, no, that's a 5-minute conversation. We haven't even asked you questions yet. How do we know what you need? Instead, what we do is we drop back and we say, okay, what do you already have available? Or do you have a club? Do you have students that are already part of it? Do you have a dedicated space for this? Is it going to be dual use like CTE or STEM during the day? And is it going to be esports after hours? How are you going to run it? Who is your point of contact? Have you tied out with your IT administration? The goal is to not only help the school determine what their program goals are, it's also to educate them on what they need to know. And then at the end of the day, putting those two things together to make sure that one of those main goals is student success. A program can't be successful if a student isn't finding some reason to be successful with that, whether that be, again, they weren't engaging in anything and this is the first club they're part of, or first program they're part of, or they wanted to form more of a competitive team and now they're bringing on a coach in order to do that, or a college university, they wanted to try to find something that they would really like to go to college with, and they found that event planning is really cool and they want to do that. That is really where success comes from, but we have to be able to build those things. And what we see more and more is product continues to be the easy part. I'm not in sales. We have great sales people who can get schools whatever they need.
Yeah.
But our goal is to make sure they have the right product. And I tell people all the time, they'll say, well, what is this? Your Legion Tower 7 has an RTX 4090 in it. I'm like, yeah, it sure does. I'm like, what are you playing? And they're like, Rocket League. And I'm like, then you do not need a 4090. It doesn't make any sense. A 4050 will literally run that without a problem, or a 4060. And they're like, well, we're going to get into VR. Okay, well, maybe you want to upgrade to a 4070 so there's some longevity there. You might want to go into Unreal Engine and start coding or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
We would much rather people get the correct product with the correct layout, with the correct operational services and solutions to help them navigate and create and generate their program instead of just getting 20 boxes of stuff and setting it up and thinking that the kids are going to know how to create a successful program. That's not it. So that's what we do. We help to create the program, whether you want to update PCs manually or you want to automatically have them updated. We have other stuff coming out that I'm building, which will help all sorts of schools operationally, so teachers and administrators can focus on what's important, which is the kids. And what they want and what they need. We have a lot of professional development coming out for teachers, which is not training. It's actually, you have great design teachers, right? Teaching design, Adobe, Photoshop and After Effects and whatever. They have tons of knowledge, been teaching it for years. They're all accredited. And what they say is, well, we don't know how to teach esports. Like, and what we say is, you 100% do. You just don't know how those tools are being used in the industry of esports.
Yeah, exactly.
Let us help you. So it's not training. Teachers don't want more training. They're in training all the time.
Right.
It's just another way of seeing how this is. And once we show them that, they're like, oh, that's not hard at all. We're like, no, it's not. But that's the bridge that we just built. And now they have the ability, when students come to them and say, my favorite streamer does this, how does that overlay look? How are they switching screens? How are they doing whatever? That teacher can say, well, that's actually an After Effect type thing. Would you like to learn? Sure. That's part of our Design 2 class. All of a sudden, you have an engaged student on a different level. What I like to say is, esports is all about doors. They walk into a room and it's dim, and they don't know what they want to do. Sure. They don't know what's there. And all of a sudden with esports, all these doors of different colors, sizes, and shapes start showing up. And they get to choose which one or how many they want to walk through. Where it ends and where it leads is really up to the student and the teacher. But what's wrong with showing them what's there? It's just they don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
So that's what we try to do for schools. Myself and Lee. Lee is actually far better at it than I will. He won't say that, but he really is. From his tech side is just fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
But having done this, having been a professional in the industry for almost 15 years now, I can help schools kind of envision what they want and how. And that's our goal. Doesn't matter if you're getting 3 PCs or 300 PCs. If you're not set up properly and we haven't helped you to set goals, standards, and KPIs for the program, then failure is more likely.
Yeah.
We want to raise expectations, but lower the barrier to entry, not only for students, but for teachers and parents, so that their students and kids can succeed. You can always expand a program. You can always make it bigger. And what we usually see is when like a year or a little bit more with a program going live, they're calling us back and being like, oh my God, we thought it would only be like 20 students. There's 200 students in here. We need more PCs. We need another space. We need curriculum. How do we automate a lot of this? And that's again where I come in. And I have the coolest job ever. And what I tell people is Lenovo is not there to be the pages of the book. Like if you see a chapter of somebody's life, or they're starting a new book, like in the best movie I can say is Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium. Ooh. Which is, if you haven't seen it, fantastic. But basically every time a person has a new chapter of their book, they start a new book, and it starts at page 1.
Right.
We're not the pages, and we're not the ink. What I like to think that I am is I'm the binding. Without us giving that front cover, back cover, and the binding that goes with it, the pages just fall out. The pages are just loose. We're trying to give them that ability. And in that aspect, we get to be part of something of a child's life and a school's experience that could lead to radical success. And in that aspect, I have one of the greatest jobs in the world.
Love that, man. Oh, well, that is a definite clip there. You will see that on social media of what you just said, and then a zoom in of my face going, "Oh, that's good." Oh, yeah.
Well, other people like Jeff, you're just saying that for whatever. I don't have to say that. I'm passionate about it because it's true, because I believe in it. And I want students to succeed. I want my 11-year-old son upstairs, who's tracked out right now and on his headset, to be able to choose what path of success he wants.
Yeah.
And the more options I can give him or give a school, the greater the opportunity there is for these kids. So that's part of why I'm passionate. And again, we grew up not having these options.
Right.
These options didn't even exist 8 years ago. And now they're here. So why not try to do something great in the world while we're here? And just kind of take it as it comes.
Love that, man. Jeff Palumbo, you are an amazing man. Thank you for coming on today to the rAVe Esports Show. And I know we need to get into. I played some finals with Josh Kell, and
oh, did you?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
He's much better than I am.
I get carried in any game, so I definitely. Then I'm excited about some over 30 action for us out there to do some gaming. And
yes, that's a whole nother stream talking about what we're gonna be doing there, and that's not that has nothing to do with Lenovo either. That's just me being nerdy.
Well, we could spend another hour on your comic book history. And
oh God, yeah.
There.
Yeah, people wouldn't believe that my wife is beautiful, like with all the nerdiness, because being in gaming and owning a comic book distribution company and a software company on the side, or a service company on the side, and this other thing I'm working on, it's all nerdy. But you know, the stereotype is that there's no way. She's gorgeous, and it's just it can happen for you nerds out there that think it's not going to. Nerds rule the world, man.
Yeah. So your other project is like a Bumble for nerds. Is that what I'm hearing? No, I'm kidding.
I don't think I want to go to that level. I don't think that's the entry level I want to be in. But you know,
we already got Bumble for nerds. It's called World of Warcraft.
That's right.
It's where people. I have friends that got married, and they even did a thing inside of World of Warcraft as part of their.
Yeah, I have had friends do that as well. I was just part of it.
That's it. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Well, thank you again. If you want to stick around in the control room, I'm going to shut down the show, and
yeah, man,
we'll chat some more. But I mean,
thanks
appreciate
for having
you
me
today.
I appreciate it.
Okay, everybody, thanks so much for coming to the rAVe Esports Show today. We had Jeff Palumbo. Next, in 2 weeks from now, we're going to have Angela Bernard Thomas from Collegiate Sports Manager Group, Esports U, with the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup that's happening in May. And she's going to be here in 2 weeks. So we're going to talk about monetization and sponsorship with Collegiate Esports. We're going to talk about that. And thanks everybody for coming to the stream. Yeah, Gunthrax, thanks for being here. Tyler over on LinkedIn. Sharp, appreciate you. We had a great show talking about all sorts of fun stuff. It was really fun to actually talk about the new Epic and Disney thing, because that just came out yesterday. And I want to talk more about it. I'm gonna talk more about it here somehow through social media. But big shout out to Neutrik and especially Extron. You know, Extron professional AV products, those power esports in a wide range of venues, including working in multi-purpose spaces, dedicated facilities, and gaming arenas on campuses. So Extron helps provide AV products, designs, expertise, the winning edge. So check them out, extron.com/esports. We're going to see a quick ad from them as well. So thank you guys once again for being here. All the folks in the chat, DJ Sriracha, thanks for streaming, appreciate it. And really enjoying the weekly show as I navigate through planning. Hey, that's great. So DJ Sriracha, I definitely want to connect with you on Twitch. I know probably Jeff might want to as well. And, or Extron. So like, hey, thanks for being here and learning and being a part of the space. We'll see you next time. Stay amazing. I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you later. Bye.